Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. More volleyball action coming to you live from the RMU Rec Center today. It's RMU Women's Club Volleyball today. Robert Morris Colonials taking on Slippery Rock University. I'll be your play-by-play guy today, Alexander Gagnon. Alongside me, Jordan Wirtz. Jordan, feels like we were just here yesterday.
Yeah, I feel like I was probably, just about here 24 hours ago, so it's a little bit colder outside today than it was then, but luckily we're inside, so
Yeah,
nice
absolutely.
and warm in here.
We get the privilege of bringing you today Women's Club Volleyball for the first time this season. This is the first home event that they've had where we've had a broadcast crew ready to go. So we will be catching them in a best 3 out of 5 series here against Slippery Rock. I believe they're known as the Pride. So yeah, they're coming off. RMU is coming off a pretty decent showing at John Carroll University's tournament from last weekend. They went 2-1 in pool play. They were eliminated in the first round, actually, by this Slippery Rock team, though, in the bracket play. So I'm sure they'll be looking to get some revenge for that loss. Looks like both teams are just starting to get queued up here before the actual match. I think the only thing we might be waiting on is the referee, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't see any ref yet, and I don't see anybody in the corners, so we may be waiting on that. But other than that, I think we're going to have a good one today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Well, it's hard to tell exactly what to expect coming into this because with some of the other teams, we've had an opportunity to see them before to give an accurate reading of what we think will happen out there on the court. Judging from warm-ups, though, I think this will be a pretty fun back-and-forth match, not only in each game, but just overall in the series. I would not be surprised if this gets to a 4th or 5th game.
Yeah, and hopefully for the fans it does. I mean, as much as I would love to see a sweep by somebody to go home early, a 5-game series is always the most entertaining.
Well, you're saying you don't want to stick around today?
I mean,
Come on, man.
of course, I would love to stick around. I have a great time here, so.
Well, it looks like both teams are getting ready here. Yep, the referee is stepping up onto the podium here.
Oh, actually a men's player from RMU's men's team. That's
And
Michael
here-
Gazdick.
It is Michael Dasty. That's the RMU Men's Club Volleyball team's libero, who will be serving as today's net judge. A couple of the players to keep an eye out for if you're watching the Colonials, I'd say, today. Emmeline Malcolm had more kills than any RMU player in the JCU tournament last weekend, had 15. So I'm sure offensively that'll be one to keep an eye out on, as is Rachel Zabelski on the defensive end, 7 blocks during the JCU tournament. As well as their one of the captains, Paige Mady, I believe, will also be one of the key contributing players to this team today. So we're just about getting ready to go here. Players taking the floor. We'll try and see exactly who's stepping up here for both teams. For RMU, it looks like Brianna Bruner, Lillian Mason, Rachel Zabelski, Emily Faith, Emma Rametta, and as libero, Victoria Ely.
And for SRU, got Kate Dugan, Amber Scott, Kendall Grossman, Kaylee Newman, Maddie Miller, and Autumn Donatelli. Their only sole bench player, Taylor Smith, will be starting on the sideline.
All right, yeah, as you can see, the Colonials bench certainly a lot deeper than SRU's here today, so I'd imagine if this series were to run long, this will be definitely in favor of the Colonials. But it looks like we're just about to get underway here. Opening serve from Slippery Rock. And we'll be learning the names better as this event goes along. That one's popped up, and a miscommunication there. Brianna Bunner just kind of tapped that one up and over the net, and an SRU miscommunication leads to 1-0 RMU. Substitution made here, and it will be Brianna Bunner serving for the Colonials. That one not over the net. 1-1 as the serve will return back to the Pride side.
And if this is anything like the men's series was yesterday, that will not be the last time we see that ball fly into the net.
Yeah, absolutely. There was quite a bit of it yesterday. Might be something in the air here at the Campus Rec Center. Is that one up and over, and looks like it's another same point RMU.
They get point SRU.
Did they? They haven't updated the scoring table down there. Oh, no, they're using the timer. Huh. They're using the timer, not the points. So that will be a point for Slippery Rock, which I believe makes it 3-1, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was looking at it's saying to score 0-0 on their scoring table down there, but it's because they're using the time, or the timeouts one to go. As it was Mason for RMU trying to get under that one, but not able to do so. Slippery Rock building a bit of an early lead here.
Yeah, they've started off hot here since giving up that first point to RMU.
That one pops up, and Mady will get it across, but picked up well from SRU. Over the net, saved by RMU there. Ely gets it up and over. People scrambling on the SRU side, but they do return it. Mason will save it. Bunner gets it over, and now we've got ourselves a real back and forth. Oh, a good dive there to get it. That was Bunner, number 3 for RMU. That one's out. A hard-earned point there for the Colonials.
Yeah, some great work there on both sides, especially RMU stretching it out, running everywhere to get that back, and they are given a point by Dugan hitting it out for SRU.
Mason to serve. And that one wide of the sideline. Point back in favor of Slippery Rock. Looks like we may see number 16, Maddie Miller, serving here for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, she switches out for Kaylee Newman. And SRU's libero, number 16, Maddie Miller, off for the serve.
Ely pops it up to Bunner. Zabelski drives it down hard. Point, Colonials.
Yeah, a great point there to get themselves back into it here. Only down 2 here early, but it's always good to get that point back after having a miscommunication outside serve.
Little dink and dunk action there from number 2, Emmeline Malcolm. That ball floated a little closer to the net than I think Slippery Rock would have wanted, and they just went up and tapped it down. Oh, tough play there for the libero. Kind of handcuffed her a little bit. Had to really get down, and that ball kind of sent wide on her. And just like that, this game has drawn pretty close to even. Pops it up. Oh, and Mady, nice play there, splits the double team. Point RMU, and I believe RMU has taken the lead now.
Yes, RMU has taken the lead back here. They haven't had a lead since it was 1-0, and they have now taken the lead back 6-5.
Well, again, we had the privilege of calling the men's game yesterday, and then a game against Washington and Jefferson. They trailed 7-1 at one point, and then before you knew it, it was 9-7 RMU. So this atmosphere really conducive to the hot and cold streaks. Another point there for the Colonials. Malcolm smacked it right off the hands of the blocking SRU players, and that ball will just kind of tumble harmlessly away.
Yeah, RMU's gotten great luck advantage here on the spikes whenever it goes into the blockers here, and they have been tending to fly out instead of in towards other players. They fly out of bounds, and there's really nowhere to get to them.
And speaking of flying out of bounds, that's what just happened to that serve from the Colonials, so it'll go back over to the SRU side with the score, I believe it's 7-6?
7-6.
Yeah. Serve is up. And that is too far. Good communication there from Puskaric and Ely to let that one go. They both thought about going for it and then decided against it, and it was a good decision that they avoided it.
In a quick change here, number 16 coming out for RMU, and Emily Faith, number 17, coming in, and she's also on the serve.
Serve is up and into the net. Got a nice little crowd on hand here for RMU's, I think, lone home game of the spring here. It also might be a little senior recognition night. They have a couple of signs recognizing some of the players up by the little food area over there. Oh, nice play there. I couldn't get a number. Did you see who hit that one across to the far corner, Jordan?
I think that may have been either number 20 or number 4.
So that either would have been Autumn Donatelli or Kate Dugan. Either way, really, really well placed shot to find the back corner there. Puskaric thought it was going to go out, and then the ball just dropped. Ely up to Faith. Gets the ball across. However, Kate Dugan for Slippery Rock right there to tap it home. no one covering the far side net corner.
Yeah, just a little bit too much there on that. Try to serve it up for the spike there and accidentally went over.
This time, though, they are able to get it across. Slippery Rock setting it up. Ely picks it up over to Faith. And that would be Lauren DiBucci who hits it across for RMU. So we got a bit of a volley there. DiBucci meets it at the line. Point Colonials. Yeah, with this current configuration of players, we've seen a lot of Ely setting up Emily Faith to set up either Lauren DiBucci or it would have been, I think it was Puskarich who was over on that far corner, but now they've backed up. Kendall Grossman to serve for Slippery Rock. Well, Emily Faith kind of got a whole lot of net, a little bit of ball, but mostly net, so that will be a point for the Pride here. As this game, neither side really getting a major advantage here, Jordan. Puskarich tried getting under it, but got it a little too close to the net. No one on the Colonials' front line really able to make a play on it.
Yeah, tough one here. RMU giving up a little stretch of points here. Down 4 now.
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication there on the back line. Everyone was able to get a piece of the ball, but not clean enough to send it back toward the net. It was just about as much as anyone could do to keep the ball up in the air. Ely gets it across for the Colonials. Popped up. Faith to Malcolm. Slippery Rock's under it, though. It'll be Donatelli to hit it across. RMU pops it up here. Really high volley for Malcolm, who hits it into the net.
And they have now grown their lead to 6 here. They're at 14-8.
Yeah, a nice little run here from Slippery Rock. I think it's at least 5 points in a row now. As Puskarich will get under it. Oh, and Faith with a good stop there. Get under it. Bunner hits it across. Ely to Faith. Oh, and DiBucci got the ball to hit the top of the net and drop right down into a void in between the SRU defense.
Yeah, great work using the net for her advantage there to give it a little bit of a bigger drop right off the net there. Pick up the point, get themselves back on track.
Speaking of getting back on track, Emmeline Malcolm's serve mishandled by Amber Scott of SRU. Went right off the hands and back into the bleachers. Emmeline Malcolm to serve once again for the Colonials, who have just hit the double-digit mark. Popped up. Faith to DiBucci. The whistle went. I'm not entirely sure for what. Are they saying that someone hit the net?
Yeah, somebody hit the net. Yep, that's what Gazik is signaling down there. That's a nice, easy pickup point for RMU there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got better eyes than I do. I didn't even see what what he was looking at, but Malcolm gets under it and pops it across. SRU to set it up now. That's Amber Scott who hit it across for SRU. Mason will just kind of float it to the back corner, and it's mishandled there from Slippery Rock. Donatelli tried getting way back there. I don't know if how planned it was, but Mason was going to drop that perfectly into the back corner.
Yeah, I don't think you could have played that much better than right there.
And just as quickly as SRU has opened up a major lead, it's starting to close in again as the Colonials have now strung a few points together. As Emily Faith with a great job, just longer wingspan.
Yeah.
Able to get a bit more of that ball and drop it down onto the SRU side. Oh, but they're saying Faith at the net.
Ah. Now we've got number 18, Taylor Smith, back for the serve on SRU after giving up that large stretch of 5 points to RMU there.
Mason to Faith. Back to Mason with some power. Mason will pop it up again. Mason again. This time to DiBucci, who hits it across. Tries catching him sleeping, but Faith is there. Bunner over to DiBucci. Tries getting into the back row. SRU's ready for it. This time it's Scott hitting it across, but RMU's under it. Faith over to Mason, who hits it Oh, and a good save there from Autumn Donatelli, but it goes off the divider, but stays in. Ely to Faith, who just sends it to the back row. Grossman sets it up for Newman, but denied at the net. I believe that was Debucci with the block.
Yeah, another great block by Debucci. Now, we saw something interesting there on that great long volley there. We saw it go off of the divider there, and yesterday during the men's games, they called that dead, but it seems like they're going to let them play it here.
I think they call it dead as if it hits the net and goes over, or if it's on the third hit. I think that's what they're ruling. Since that was like their first hit, I think they said that was legal. Regardless, it will be a Slippery Rock point here. Score sitting at what exactly, Jordan?
16-13 now.
16-13. 3-point game at the moment here through the mid part of this one. Mason to Faith. Hits with a little redirect, but SRU's ready for it. Not played cleanly there from the Colonials, or sorry, from the Pride. They went for multiple sets, even though they were on their third hit already.
Yeah, it wasn't much you could do after it got outside there and couldn't get it back across there.
Oh, good serve there, Brianna Bonner. Forced Miller to really dive for it and just couldn't quite get to it. Serve is up. Handled all right there from the Pride, who will get it across. Played off the shoulder of Bunner, and kind of caught, Zabelski by surprise. I think it caught the entire Colonials defense by surprise as that ball went off Bunner's shoulder and then just sat there. Ely will pop it up to Bunner. Zabelski will get it across for the Colonials. Grossman now setting up Donatelli. Oh, and a great diving stop there by Bunner. SRU on the attack once again. Blocked at the line, but saved by Slippery Rock. Blocked at the line again. Zabelski is just a monster in front of the net right now. And Mason will send it across for the Colonials.
And just not enough underneath it there. Number 16, Maddie, to keep it up there.
Yeah,
after a great dive by Bunner.
Yeah, Paige Mady really tried getting under that one, but there was only so much ground you could cover from that position, especially if you're flat-footed. Really fun back and forth there, but that one will go in favor of the Pride. Popped up. Ely over to Mason, who just blasted through the line, but saved from SRU. Bunner will set up Zabelski, who hits it deep. And Kate Dugan right under it, but didn't really send the ball anywhere to one of the teammates, and it just kind of drops down to the hardwood for a point for RMU. Be Mason once again to serve for the Colonials. Gets under it. Oh, bit of a dangerous play there. Kendall Grossman trying to save it, ends up just whipping the ball over towards the Colonials' front line. I think that was Paige Mady who took that one.
Taking a Scott Sterling sort of play there.
We saw Clayton Edwards of CMU take one of those yesterday. He made a block right off the top of his head. As Malcolm will hit that across. SRU setting up for the attack now. Donatelli with some force. No one there on the back line for the Colonials to stop it. Autumn Donatelli, really, really clean looking hit.
It's 19-17 here. Things are getting close to the end of this one. The libero of SRU serves it into the net here. That was Miller.
Yeah, Maddie Miller hits it directly into the net, and now the Colonials will be trailing by one. Rachel Zabelski for RMU to serve. Gets across cleanly. Sets up Donatelli, who hits it into the net. We've got ourselves a tie game once again. 6 points from the final destination.
Yeah, we're all tied up here, folks. It's been a while since we've been tied up here. I haven't been tied up since, I think it was 8-8. Something like that the last time it was tied.
And Miller misplays that one, and the Colonials will take their first lead in probably about as much time as you were just referring to, Jordan.
Yeah, it's been a while coming for them, digging back and forth between 2 and 3 point leads. And now they finally have a lead to see if they can capitalize on it here and possibly put it away.
And right as we say that, Zabelski will hit it into the net, and once again tie game 2020. I think that's the first real commentator's jinx we've had of the morning. We had a lot of them to start yesterday.
Yeah, it was pretty bad yesterday, so it's nice to know that I got the first one of today.
Discourage sets up Bunner to Debucci, who hits it across. SRU on the rebound, though. That was Amber Scott, but well played from the Colonials as Malcolm will hit it across and just past the baseline. I think that was absolutely the right play, just about, say, 6 inches too far.
Yeah. It was pretty close to the line there, just a little bit less mustard on her, and you had a good one. But point SRU, and they have regained the lead once again.
Autumn Donatelli to serve. Mady's under it. They went over to Debucci. Picked up nicely from SRU. Ely with a nice dive, and they'll get it across, but out of play. The Colonials players have not been afraid to stretch out to try and get this ball through game one here.
No, they have not been afraid to put their body on the line here. Seen a lot of dives in this one.
Piscarage just will send that straight back across. Oh, and met at the line, but the wrong side of the line. And the Slippery Rock Pride now set 2 points away from a game one victory in this best-of-5 series.
Yeah, if you're RMU, you're gonna want to pick up at least this point here. You do not want SRU to get to that 24.
Absolutely, and as we say it, they will do exactly that. 24-20 now the score. Game point for Slippery Rock, as it will be Donatelli still to serve. RMU's going to need to set up a clean offensive possession here to have any sort of chance. Malcolm sets up Bunner to Debucci, who gets it across. Forces SRU into a bit of a tough spot, but they get it over, and that is in play. 25-20, your game one score. Slippery Rock will pick up the victory and improve to 1-0 in this best-of-5 series. Well, we'll have a little post-game recap, I'd say, after a brief intermission, because I'd imagine they're not going to take too long of an intermission themselves. So we'll be back at you right after this.
Welcome back, everyone, for Game 2 of this best-of-5 series. SRU picked up the first game win, 25-20 here. They had the lead for most of it. RMU came back a few times and tied it up, but SRU pretty much had the lead that entire game and really didn't want to give it up.
Yeah, they did squander it a little bit toward the end there. The last lead that RMU had was at 20-19, but then after that it was fairly short-lived.
Yeah, then after that SRU just scored 5 straight points and put it away.
Absolutely. So we're getting ready for game number 2 here. Stepping onto the floor for the Colonial side, it looks like we're going to have Debucci, Valenti, who I think is making their first appearance of the day, Lillian Mason, Emma Rametta, Victoria Ely, and it looks like the serve here is number 12, Julia Molinaro, who I believe that's also their first action of the day.
Mm-hmm. And over on the SRU side, we've got Kate Dugan, Amber Scott, number 7, Kendall Grossman, number 9, Kaylee Newman, 15, Maddie Miller, 16, and Autumn Donatelli of 20 here. And we're going to start off here with a quick point for SRU here to start it off. Getting right back to where they started here, where they ended here in the first game. The quick, easy point here is RMU could not handle it and get it over the other side. This number 4 is here for the serve. And she's going to send that way out the back. And RMU's going to pick up their first point here off of an out serve. As number 9 for RMU, Kendall Grossman here is back for the serve for RMU now. Great work there by SRU to get it back over. Number 12, number 9 of RMU sends it over. Set by number 20. A light tap by number 9. RMU sends it back over. And they're going to call it in. It caught the line just a little bit, just enough there to get the point. As RMU now takes their first lead here, 2-1 in this very early moment of the game.
I have returned. Sorry about that. Seems like I've missed a couple of fun points, though. As that one is going to go wide, point RMU.
Yeah, you missed a good one here. Good, nice little volley here right before this point that just happened.
So it'll be Lillian Mason to serve here for the Colonials. We've seen her serve quite a bit today, and that one I thought was going to go out, but SRU clearly thought differently, tried playing it and wasn't able to.
Yeah, RMU has now built a 4-1 lead here.
Oh my goodness, Mason brought the heat on that one, but it's played very cleanly from SRU, and it'll be the point for the Pride. Just as good of as a serve as that was, it was answered even better from the SRU side.
Yeah, they brought some heat on it there, and I think RMU was looking for the outside, but it was way in.
Yeah, it's when sometimes a pitcher will try and throw a fastball to just get by the batter, and the batter sees it coming. As that will be a nice play there. Emmeline Malcolm for RMU gets the point off a very nice little setup play.
RMU's looking sharp here early. Get ready to go here. Number 10 for the serve.
Ibuchi will hit it up and over. Played cleanly from SRU and tried. That was Taylor Smith for the Pride trying to get that one up and over, but didn't even have to worry about the blockers as that ball right into the net. That one's popped up. Not the cleanest play there, but SRU is able to get it up and over the net. Zabelski over the Molinaro. Back to Zabelski, who hits it right into the net. The net proving to be more foe than friend here for both teams to start off game 2.
Yeah, it looks like 3 teams are playing each other. SRU, RMU, and the net.
And right now I'd say it's a pretty even game as that serve from Slippery Rock out of play.
This is now 7-3 RMU here.
If you're the Colonials, this has got to be the start you were hoping for game 2 after coming off a tough game 1 loss like that. Get in control early, and then you're able to control the tempo of the game and hopefully able to pick up a win here. Because if you win here, then it's just a clean slate best-of-3 series.
Yeah.
Ball's up and over. Slippery Rock tries going. Oh, and they get him with it. Kate Dugan tried hitting him with a little bit of the off-speeder. They weren't ready for it, and they will get the point.
Kendall Grossman for SRU back here for the serve. And she serves it into the net. And that is 8-4 RMU. We keep talking about the net, and they are. It is quite the formidable foe here today.
It always seems to be, but in game 2 particularly, it's really shown up in a big way, if you will. As that is Taylor Smith getting it across for SRU. And then on the RMU side, Lillian Mason, powerful hit, cleanly off the hands of Kate Dugan. Like almost a textbook positional play from Dugan, and then that ball just too much speed, too much to control. It's going to be Remetta serving for RMU. Nice serve there. Could not get handled super well from SRU, but they are able to return it. As RMU now getting up and under it. And Zabelski got it over, but out of play. We've seen a couple of times now, Slippery Rock has not handled the serves cleanly, but are still able to find a way to go to the cross, and it's turned into a couple points for them.
Yeah, we've seen that on both sides here today, and they are not afraid to run after it. They can get some distance on it and really put it back into play here.
That one's set up for Newman. Played cleanly there. Mason to get it across into the net. Lillian Mason tried getting that one up and over instead. What was the phrase we used yesterday? The Tony Hawk nose grind or whatever? Just kind of slid across the net.
Yeah.
That one up and over. Faith under it. To Zabelski, no one there. Kendall Grossman dove for it, but that ball was already gone by the time she got there.
Yeah, just out of her reach there. Great positioning play there by RMU, as they have now hit double digits here in this game.
So it's going to be Victoria Ely, the libero for RMU to serve. Serve is up. SRU under it pretty cleanly. Grossman tried going to get to the cross, and Mason just little bit more wingspan, tapped it right by him.
Yeah, just got her fingers on it and sent it right back down to him.
And once again, RMU has opened it up to a 5-point lead. Nice dig there. That was number 6, Emma Remeta, under it for RMU. And the volley is on. Met at the line once again. Remeta to Faith. Debucci will get it across. SRU now on the attack. Once again, setting up for RMU. That's Molinaro hitting it across. Donatelli over to Grossman. Man, they are going for it right now. Debucci tried going for the off-speeder. Oh, and Mason just couldn't get enough of it. Hard-earned point there for Slippery Rock.
Yeah, that was a long one today. That was quite the volley there.
Pops it up. RMU for the set play. Mason just misses the baseline. Tell you what, the game plan here in game number 2 has really seemed to be get the ball onto the hand of Lillian Mason and let her try and absolutely clobber it.
Yeah. And SRU's done a pretty good job at answering it here. They've been able to gather it in on most cases.
Yeah, it's helping them stay in this game at the moment. Is that one not played all that cleanly from RMU? The setup attempt off the net and kind of into the middle of nowhere.
And we're seeing SRU here creep back into this here as they're only down 2 now.
RMU looking to end the momentum right here is Mason once again. That one, they're going to say past the baseline again.
Another tough one there, just outside of the line.
You could tell it was close because both the line judge and the net judge needed a second to confer before they agreed on the decision. Molinaro just gets it across. Trying to set up Newman. They went the other way with it to Donatelli as RMU sets up the other way. Mason again answered from Slippery Rock. Mason under it now to Faith. Debucci. Answered by Slippery Rock. Grossman sets up Dugan. Ely's under it. Over the Faith. Remeta hits it across. Quite the volley going on once again here. They're setting up, but RMU's under it. Molinaro sets up Mason with the off-speeder, and they almost got it to go. Molinaro to Debucci with some more pace. Still they answer. And still this volley continues. Debucci just into the net, barely creeps over, and finally a point is earned, this time for the Colonials after a wild back and forth. There was people running all over the place, Jordan.
Yeah, it was a long one. And if you're RMU, you don't really want to see them stretch out like this whenever you've got a potential 5-gamer here, but it's always nice for you to get the point on it after that long, hard work there.
Molinaro was able to get a hand on it, but nothing more, as that ball will careen harmlessly away, and that ball will now make it a 1-point game.
Yeah, back to 12-11 here, reaching about the halfway point of this game.
Dugan the serve. Ely pops it up. Molinaro. Remeta gets it across. SRU will float it over for Newman. RMU's under it, though. Trying to set up Valenti on the far side. SRU just barely gets it across. Molinaro sets up Mason with some speed, but dug out by the Pride. And Lillian Mason went up for it and then decided not to play it, and it kind of handcuffed Remeta into trying to get to it at the last second.
Yeah, and for the first time since it's a 1-0, things are tied up here again. Well, 1-1, I mean.
I'm about to say, I don't think 1-0 would be tied. Oh, and Ely can't get under it. That'll be the ace for, who's it, number 4, Kate Dugan.
It's the first ace here of this series here for both sides. And getting the lead back here.
Remeta pops it up high. Molinaro over to Valenti. Nothing doing. Tried meeting him at the line. However, Autumn Donatelli placed that one perfectly. No Colonial with a chance to even get to that ball.
No.
And now Slippery Rock has taken the lead for the first time here in game number 2, just at the midway point.
And this is not what you want to see. RMU had trouble playing from behind in the first game. We'll see if they're able to answer here and tie this up or take the lead back.
As SRU is trying to set up a play to Newman. Colonials are under it, though. Molinaro to Mason, tried finding the back corner. Played well from Slippery Rock. Oh, and that ball off to the middle of nowhere. They tried chasing it down, but not much you could really do about it at that point. It was a really nice setup from Donatelli.
Yeah, not really something you can dive after when you got the bleachers coming your way.
And even still, they would have been like full speed, full extension dive, and then at that point you're trying to hit it completely the other direction. As that ball off the net and nearly ricochets back into to Kaylee Newman's face. Almost had another Scott Sterling moment, but self-inflicted by our own team.
Yeah. RMU thankful for that point to get back into it here.
Slippery Rock will pop it up. Played cleanly, though. Ely to Malcolm. Now you're looking for that back corner, but nothing going right now. Mason will pop it up high for Malcolm. It'll be Ely to get it across, and they hit it directly into the net.
Just couldn't get it high enough on that one. RMU and SRU are going to switch out a few players here.
SRU will switch out one player. That's as many players they can switch out at any given point. As Piskarich can't quite get under that one. And the score now is, what is it, 17
to 13.
Out of nowhere, Slippery Rock is really taking a commanding advantage in this game. Piskarich to Molinaro. Malcolm gets through the block, but SRU is able to pick it up. Donatelli, but Valenti's under it. Molinaro gets it across. The volley is on. Donatelli gets it through the net, and Ely just not quite under it in time.
And we're starting to see, no matter the situation, SRU has been able to put themselves in situations here to take a chance at this point.
Molinaro to Malcolm, who gets it across, tried really hitting him with an off-direction hit. Nearly fooled him, but not quite enough. Valenti under it to DeBucci. RMU's just not really generating a ton of high-danger chances at the moment offensively. SRU's been able to get under him pretty easily. As Miller will hit that across, but too far. Finally, a point here for the Colonials. That might be what they needed to get back into this game.
Yeah, they're down 4 here. Looking for a nice little stretch of points here. So at least tie this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes the best offense is forcing your opposition into a mistake, as that is Piskarich under it, and then Zabelski will get it across. Molinaro to Malcolm. Oh, up and over the net, but that is Donatelli who's under it. DeBucci to Zabelski. Valenti gets it across. Met at the line, but easily picked up there from Molinaro. As Malcolm for the spike misses the back corner. The aim finders here for RMU just not quite locked in.
Yeah, RMU having some trouble with those backline spikes right now. Just not getting any to stick in for them.
It's going to be Autumn Donatelli serving. Malcolm to Molinaro, and then Ely gets it across. Donatelli to Dugan. And then that is a nice little play there to finish off that offensive play from Taylor Smith of SRU.
And SRU is now
that ball not really played cleanly there from Emmeline Malcolm.
no.
And with the score now, what is it, 20 to 14?
I thought it was 21 to 14, but the scoreboard says 20 to 14, so I'll go with the scoreboard.
Interesting.
So it is now 21 to 14.
Saying 21-14. RMU, in a game that they led the majority of the early part of, now finds themselves a touchdown and an extra point behind. As Piskarich will try and set up Molinaro to Zabelski, and Slippery Rock under it again. Malcolm again through the net, but this time it goes. That's been the way that RMU's been able to generate offense these past couple times. They've gotten a point through an offensive set play, has been hitting it through the net and throwing off the timing of the Slippery Rock defense. I don't know how sustainable of an offensive practice that is, but it's the way they've been getting points. SRU had some trouble with the opening serve there, but they've been able to recover and get back into position. Malcolm forced Donatelli back, but was able to pick it up. Oh, and a very, very nice play there from Amber Scott. Just floated it over the blocking players.
Yeah, 3 points away here from picking up this decisive Game 2 win. Would put RMU down 2-0.
Oh, and a miscommunication there from Ely and Piscarich. They both went for it. Ball made contact with both of them, and neither of them got the ball up in the air. It's going to be Kendall Grossman to serve here for Slippery Rock as that ball up and in. Handled pretty easily on the RMU side as Zabelski went to go hit it in, but went through the little pylon on the net there. Point for Slippery Rock, and they now find themselves 1 point away, Jordan?
Yep, they are at game point here. Grossman looking to put it away for SRU and pick up the Game 2 win.
Ball's up and out of play, I believe. They're going to say past the baseline.
That was close, Alex. She almost got the ace for the win there.
That would have been a pretty baller way to end it. But this game continues 24-16 at the moment. It'll be Emma Remetta serving for the Colonials. No small task ahead of them here trying to, well, that'll do it as that serve is into the net. 25-16 your Game 2 score. Slippery Rock now up 2-0 in this best of 5. RMU's going to need to hit the reverse sweep to have a chance to win this one. Jordan, what did you notice through the first 2 games here?
I've noticed SRU is able to pretty much play with anything, even off of disastrous first hits here. They're able to gather it back in and get it back across in almost any situation here. RMU, on their side, it's just keeping that lead when they have it. Every time they've had a lead, they've kind of given it right back up to SRU. Can't keep anything going. And then on that back line on those spikes, they just got to just make a little adjustment there so that they'll stay in. They haven't really had any luck getting any of them to stay in. They all go out. But if they can turn that around, that's a nice 4 or 5 point swing each game that they're going to get.
Yeah, and that would have been the difference for game number 1. Probably not enough for game number 2, but we'll be back right after this intermission break to bring you game 3 of SRU and RMU Club Volleyball.
Welcome back, everyone, for Game 3. SRU has a 2-0 lead here in this series, winning Game 1 25-20 and winning Game 2 25-16. Every time you think RMU's going to get back on top here, SRU's able to answer, dig themselves back out of the hole. It was a late lead switch here in the last game, and SRU able to just put the pedal to the metal and pull away, and they won by 9. And they're going to start the serve here, number 7. Set up by number 12. Spiked by number 9, and RMU's going to pick up the first point as it's just out of the reach of Maddie Miller.
Yeah, Lillian Mason finally got one of those spikes to go, man. She was having a tough time in game number 2. A lot of opportunities, but not a whole lot to show for it, but good start there. And it'll be Bunner the serve here for the Colonials. SRU sets up the play. That's Newman who gets it through the blocking hands of Zabelski and Mason. Tie game 1-1.
Number 4, Dugan back here for the serve for SRU.
Mason, another opportunity. This one dug out. Yep, it was dug out briefly, but not high enough for any SRU players to really make a play on it. Mason feeling it here in the early going. And one thing, with as much depth as RMU has on the bench compared to SRU, the later this series goes on, like if they are able to force a game 4 and subsequently a game 5, I think that only favors the Colonials.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one.
Especially with how much running around both of these teams have done through the first 2 games. as SRU gets the point there to tie it. I think this game is very critical for Slippery Rock. If they pick up this one, they're fine. If they don't win this one, they could be in some real danger.
Yeah, the longer this goes on, the lesser of a chance I think their chances of winning go down.
Nice play there from Malcolm to get it in, but read cleanly from SRU. We'll get to the cross, and there was just a vacuum in the middle of the RMU defense there, and that ball landed right in the middle of it.
Yeah, they took a stop around the campfire on that one as it dropped into nothing.
Oh, bit of an, I think that's going to qualify as an ace there for Maddie Miller. I'm not sure if Piskarch got under before that ball hit the ground or not, but regardless, nothing going there. Zabelski left it back for Piskarch, but it was quite the run up for Piskarch to even have an opportunity at it. They get it across. Donatelli hits it right to Victoria Ely for RMU. Oh, nice play there from Bunner. Caught him with the off-speeder on the second attempt. That ball probably would have went too far had Amber Scott not gotten a hand on it.
Yeah, it would have been close. That would have been a tight line judge call right there for that one.
Zabelski gets the serve over, but SRU on the attack again. Met at the line by DeBucci, but the play continues. Mady over to Malcolm, through the net but returned. Donatelli now went through, and DeBucci had an opportunity, but I think hit the ball about 4 times.
Yeah, definitely hit it with a pinball move there.
Well, I'll say it's like the people who they like spin in the air when you see like smoke, you know, like get it like spin faster and faster. That's how it looked like with the ball, just constantly hitting it and getting it to rotate. Big block at the line there from Taylor Smith. Couldn't get on the second one, but SRU was able to help her out behind. Oh, and that ball just too far.
That was close. Once again, a tough backline play, not breaking in RMU's favor.
Autumn Donatelli for SRU. Piskarch is under it. Mady gets it across. Oh, and just misses the back corner. I would say about 3 inches too far and an inch or two too wide. Hit probably the hash mark as opposed to the corner. Malcolm's under it for RMU. To Bunner. Looks like Ely will get it across for the Colonials, and now it's Maddie Miller under it for Slippery Rock. Taylor Smith went for the tap in. Couldn't get it to go as Lauren DeBucci met her at the net.
RMU picking up their first point here out of the last 4 or 5. Down 4-7 here early. Trying to get back into this one.
Molinaro with the serve. The Prater under it. Get it across. Grossman. This time it's Molinaro though, setting up Malcolm. Oh, and nice dig out there, but nothing to do with it. Man, that's a tough break for Slippery Rock. That was a really nice play to even get under that ball from Autumn Donatelli.
Yeah.
But nothing going there. Taylor Smith will just float to the cross. Ely, Molinaro, DeBucci. Popped up high by Kate Dugan, who will end up hitting it across. Malcolm to Ely. Bunner hits it across, looking for the back corner, can't get it to go. They keep looking for that back corner, and every time they've missed it by a matter of inches, Jordan.
Yeah, it's been close, and it's getting closer and closer every time. It is a game of inches here in this one. Number 8 back here to serve, or number 9, I mean.
And can't quite get under that one. Slippery Rock now pulling ahead a little bit here, 9-5 in game number 3. Not what you're looking to see if you're one of the, I'd say probably about 50 so people in attendance here if you're a Colonials fan. Ely to DeBucci. Malcolm gets it in, nice play there. But they're going to set up on the far side. Kate Dugan, just way too clean of a hit for RMU to stop.
Yeah, SRU's now in double digits. RMU down 5 here. They still have plenty of time to get back into it here.
Grossman hits it across. RMU looking to set up something offensively. Malcolm looking for the back corner, but Grossman is there. Oh, and a nice play there from Amber Scott. Hit him with the floaters again. There's that. It almost seems like they're forming a bit of a bagel back there on defense. You know, you've got all the perimeters covered, but there's this big gap in the middle that SRU is taking advantage of at the moment. Oh, and a nice play there. Brianna Bunner just spiked that one down. And no matter, Maddie Miller got low enough to play the ball, but it just was not lined up well enough to pop that one straight back up, and it ends up going off the side of her arm. RMU serves it in. Taylor Smith went for the floater. Couldn't get it to go, but the miscommunication there on the RMU side. No one able to get it after Mason popped up a bit of a low ball.
RMU down 6 once again.
It's going to be kind of the tale of the morning here for the Colonials, as Mason just powers through not only the net but about 4 other SRU players as well. I don't think they made contact with it, but there was 4 SRU players who reasonably could have made contact with that ball, and yet hits the floor.
Yeah, and it's high energy plays like that that's really going to help them potentially turn the tide in this game.
Well, as quickly as you can get momentum, you can lose it in this game, and that's certainly not what you want to see. Is that ball really, really well played from Slippery Rock? Just nowhere to go with it was Julia Molinaro. Tried getting under it, but couldn't really do much with it. She sets up Zabelski, who gets through the block attempt. Another point there for the Colonials. Both teams now starting to trade points back and forth, which, while that's fine, eventually this is going to end up in an SRU win if they keep up this pace, because SRU does have a sizable lead. Mason to Bunner. Over the Mady. They're setting it up again. Colonials looking for it. Mason with the off-speeder. Dug out nicely. Sets it up. Mady to Mason. The volley is on. And as soon as it's on, it's off.
Yeah, and Donatelli just misses it there just a little bit, and she ends up taking it into the net instead of sending it over there. And this is the first time I think we've seen RMU pick up 2 points in a row in just a little bit here.
Yeah. Also, this is completely unrelated, but Slippery Rock's wearing green. They have a player whose last name is Donatelli, and my first thought was the Ninja Turtles. Anyways,
well,
SRU does lead now. Was it 14 to
9?
14 to 9. Okay. Again, I can only see the visiting score from where I'm standing.
Unfortunately, they are neither Teenage Mutant or Ninjas or Turtles, so. Set by number 4 here. Donatelli right into the hands of RMU, and they just can't get it back over there. Another point, up to 15 now. Dugan back for the serve for SRU.
Oh, and an ace there, Kate Dugan. The RMU players looked at the ball, looked at each other, looked back at the ball, and then realized no one went for the ball.
They're down 7 here. They got to figure something out. Because if they don't get ahead here and get this win, it is going to be a clean sweep. And RMU getting the point on the out-of-bounds hit there and back to double digits here.
Yeah, and it's going to start from just smart play, you know, not miscommunicating on the serves to allow aces, letting shots that go out of bounds like that to actually go out of bounds. Nice serve there, and SRU can't really do much with it. Yeah, that is going to be a point for the Colonials. And also, they got to find a way to open up the Slippery Rock defense a little bit. You know, they're getting the ball across pretty well today, but not in dangerous situations. Mady to Malcolm. Played from SRU. Ely pops it up. Nice play there. Bunner gets it over to Malcolm. Nice play. Both sides now trading good exchanges. Nice play there, though, from Autumn Donatelli. Got through the blocking hands of Mady and Zabelski, and that ball will bounce off the hand of Zabelski and out of play.
And every time you think RMU is going to get back into this, SRU quickly answers back within a point or two.
Zabelski gets under it. Over to Malcolm, who I'd imagine by their own standards have had a bit of a quiet day, as that ball is out of play. Point for the Colonials. There's been a couple players on the Colonial side who they're given the opportunities to try and get the kills, and it's just not been their day though so far on that front. But a nice serve there from Zabelski. Well, Amber Scott for Slippery Rock could not quite handle that one. That ball is going to bounce well wide.
And for the first time in a while, RMU is only down 4. Might not seem like a lot, but that's a little compared to what it's been for most of this game.
And there's still enough time for the Colonials to get back ahead if they keep up this streak here, as Mady goes for the far side hit. Does not get it to go. Zabelski pops it up from Malcolm. It's a floater, and Bunner just hits it across lightly. Set up there for Donatelli, but it's played from Malcolm. DeBucci gets it across the net. DeBucci and Taylor Smith both went up for it, and DeBucci got the better of that exchange. They've had a few battles already today in front of that net, both of them blocking each other a couple of times. Zabelski gets the serve over cleanly and cannot get played from Maddie Miller. Don't look now, but I think Slippery Rock might be in a little bit of a scramble here.
Yeah, RMU only down 2 now here. They are getting back into this. Just as I say that, I'm probably going to jinx it, but I will no longer be talking about that.
Hey, it's your job to talk today. That's what you're getting paid for. As Taylor Smith will pop up for Donatelli. Piskarich to Bunner. Over to Malcolm. Oh, what a shot there from Emmeline Malcolm. It's plays like that where you can see why she led the team in kills at the JCU tournament last week.
Yeah, that front line of RMU's is looking sharp right now. There is just nothing SRU can do to stop them.
Zabelski plays it in. Dugan sets up Donatelli. Dug out nicely from Piskarich. Oh, and there it is, finally. Bunner went for the back corner, and for the first time all game, the Colonials found the back corner.
And just like that, it is all tied up. Off of the great serve work by Zabelski, RMU's tied up 17 all.
Serve is in. Dugan tries getting them off balance, doesn't work. And Malcolm, just missed the baseline. So once again, Slippery Rock will have the advantage here. But that run there from the Colonials all but evaporated the Slippery Rock's almost double-digit lead.
Yeah.
They were up by, 7 at that point?
They were up by 7 at one point, and the RMU to dig back in, even just down 1 now.
Well,
down
now
2. 2 is nothing, which is great. We've seen RMU score 2 points in little stretches like that all the time. They can easily tie this up.
Absolutely. Yeah, a bit of a misplay there on the back line from Malcolm, as Piskarich will set up Bunner over to DeBucci. Gets it to go. A miscommunication there from SRU, sorry. Very good communication from the RMU side to get that play set up. And it'll be Molinaro serving for the Colonials now. Pops it up. Dugan over to Scott. And Piskarich couldn't quite handle it cleanly. We got ourselves a real back and forth right now.
Yeah, and it's coming into crunch time here. SRU just hit 20. We are in the final stages of this one.
Ely to Molinaro. DeBucci gets it up and over, and that's not going to be enough from the SRU side to get it over. They played pinball with it, only if you keep barely tapping it.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting play. If their libero could have just got a little more on it, they might have been able to save that one.
Absolutely. Instead, it's only a 1-point deficit for the Colonials now. SRU had a little bit of trouble. But they get it across on the 3rd attempt. And once again, the bagel hole. A bit of the problem there for the Colonials. I'm sure it has a technical name, but that's what I'm calling it.
Yeah, after that ball went into the net, I really figured that was going to be RMU's point. SRU able to greatly recover there.
Mason for Molinaro. Back to Mason. And no chance there for Taylor Smith. Basically just had to force palm it away. No chance to get really under it, though, because that was chest height. And with this game as close as it is, it's entirely possible we might see some extra game, or a little bit of extra. I almost said extra innings, but that's definitely the wrong sport. Donatelli. Cleanly under it is Remetta. Molinaro over to Bunner. Oh, and a nice play there. Diving from Donatelli. No one from the SRU side can get to it, though. 21-21.
Yep, it is. I'm a little tense up here. My hands are getting a little sweaty just thinking about this game right now.
Knees weak, arms are heavy. Donatelli over to Grossman. Amber Scott plays it in, but Remetta's under it nicely. Molinaro gets it over to Mason, who will play it back, and the volley is on. Remetta pops it up. Molinaro sets up Mason with the off-speeder. Another dive there from Grossman. Looking for the back corner. Oh, and that's the point for RMU. I think there was a bit of that hesitation where do you want to pass it or do you want to try and clear the net from that position? And the combination of the two just led it to hitting it into the net.
Yeah. And RMU has a late lead here, 22-21. See if they can capitalize on it and pick up their first win of the series.
Victoria Ely to serve for the Colonials. Ball's up and over. Slippery Rock gets it over, but Mason will set up Bunner, and Ely will just send it across lightly. Newman gets it in. Found the back corner. Good shot there from Kaylee Newman. Tied at 22. And with this game being win by 2, either one team's going to go on a run here to close this one out, or we could start seeing us have to play the 26 or 27. Mason to Molinaro. Zabelski gets it through the defenders. The Colonials 2 points away now. And a must-win game for RMU to force a Game 4.
And in a very important point right here for RMU.
Pops it up. Grossman to Donatelli into the net. Gets it over, but that was a double hit on Donatelli's part, right? No, the net cleared it. Never mind. Excuse me. 23-23. So either we're going to have there is some discussion going on here. Not entirely sure what the debate is. I think they're just making sure they made the right call here on the floor.
I think they were discussing whether it was a double touch or not, but
pops up. Zabelski to Mady. Under that was Miller. Dugan to Donatelli. Remetta's under it. Bunner forces Mason to play it deep. Amber Scott over the Dugan. Bunner gets it up again. Oh, and Mady had no room to play it, just into the net. 24-23 Slippery Rock. Game point, but also a potential for some extra game. Ball is up. Dugan. Remetta plays it up. Zabelski just gets it over. Miller to Dugan. Donatelli, that'll do it. 25-23, your Game 3 score, which means Slippery Rock will pick up the 3-0 win here. What a battle back, though, from the Colonials. It didn't seem like a 23-25 was even a possibility at the midway point of that game. But Slippery Rock will leave here victorious here today. Jordan, you look a little deflated.
yeah. I'll tell you what. When RMU came back from that deficit there, I really thought they had it.
You could feel the momentum build, and it was one of those things where, like, if they got through Game 3 into Game 4, you felt that they were going to be even stronger for Game 4, but not quite meant to be here today. I do believe it is senior rec for the Colonial side. I'll see if I can bring up the roster real quick to see who the seniors for this team are. So let's see. So one of them, number 3, Brianna Bunner, is Bunner. Jeez, I've said her last name like 3 or 4 different ways today. Graduate student for counseling psychology. I believe this may be her last home event as a Colonial for the RMU Women's Club Volleyball team. We've also got Lillian Mason, who's a senior this year, a senior nursing major from Cambridge Springs. And they have one more name up there. Did I miss someone? Oh, yes, sorry. Kayleen Puskarich is a graduate student for Cyber Investigations and Intelligence. So those are, I believe, the 3 graduating members of this team. We wish them all the best post their time here at RMU. Jordan, any final thoughts on today's game?
Just hard-fought wins all around by SRU. They looked sharp even whenever they were losing those points and they gave up those leads that they had. They were able to get things together and really clean it up and come away with a 3-0 sweep here.
Well, folks, I think that's going to do it for us here at the RMU Campus Rec Center. Next time we'll be streaming, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know when exactly our next stream is going to be, but I do know keep an eye out on either the Campus Rec social media or our RMU roller hockey social media. We'll have Caden McCrory as our field correspondent, per se, to cover the Nationals run for RMU roller hockey. They'll be in Kalamazoo, Michigan this week. I believe it's Wednesday through Saturday, right, Caden? Yeah, Wednesday through Saturday, so we'll see how they fare there. In the meantime, I think that's probably going to do it for us here today, unless we want to get one of the seniors for a little post-game interview.
I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that or not.
Yeah, they're taking some group pictures at the moment, so I think we're just going to call it here. So for Jordan Wirtz, I've been Alexander Gagnon. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in on this Sunday morning edition of Women's Club Volleyball, and we will catch you next time.